Hello, hi, so welcome back to Control Crafting, and in today's video we are going to study about patterns and it's part 3. So let's jump into the question that we have right now on our screen. It's this. So first there are some set of rules I want you to revise, that is row will be handled by outer loop, column will be handled by inner loop. We have to build relation between row and column to print pattern. Okay, these are the 3 rules. So let's get into our rule number 1, that is row. So let's see how many rows do we have. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we have 5 rows. So our row will be handled by our popular for is equal to 0, I is less than 5, I plus plus. This for loop will handle our row. Now let's see how we are printing our stars. So let's see how many stars do we have in our first row. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 stars. In second row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 stars. In third row, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 stars. In fourth row, I have 1, 2, 3 stars. And in fifth row, I have 1 star. Let's have these variables named as j. So can we say that j is starting from 9 and going to 1 and it's decreasing by minus 2? Like, let me explain. 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. 7 minus 2 is equal to 5. 5 minus 2 is equal to 3. And 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. So we are decreasing the value of j by minus 2. Okay. Moreover, all these values of j are odd. They are odd numbers. So let me recall you a very popular mathematical formula that is suitable for odd. It's either 2n minus 1 or 2n plus 1. So at the given time, if I have a for loop starting like for rows, we have two variables here, I and n. N defines the number of rows we want to print. So here n is 5 and I is the one that changes constantly. In order to have j initialized, we have to look for a condition where we print only odd number of values. But how we are going to derive 9 from either I or either n and fit in the formula 2n minus 1 or 2n minus plus 1, because these are the formula for odd numbers. How we are going to help it? So for any value of I, if I am going to have a drive-in here, that I have a formula 2n minus 1 or 2n plus 1. Let's not have n, let's say 2a, 2n, because we already have n. So for I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Even if we put any value of I here in this given formula, so it will be true for few values, like for 2, like 2 into 2 plus 1 is equal to 5. But this I won't result in true values of printing the stars every time for every variable. Like for 1, if I'll say 2 into 2 plus 1, we have, sorry, 1, no? 2 into 1, we have 3. And for minus, we have 1. So for any value of I is equal to 1, I can't have 7 as stars. So I is out of the race for initializing the j variable. Now let's take a look for I is for n. 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. So for n is equal to 5 here, can I have 9 from 5? Yes, that is 2 into 5 minus 1. It is 9. And it suits our odd number formula. So if I have n is equal to 3, then 2 into 3 minus 1, that is 5. Okay. So for if I'll start my if I'll start my triangle for 3 rows, then do we have 5 for the first row? If I have only 3 rows to print this triangle, do we have 5 stars in the first row? Yes, we have. If I want to print up to 2, then 2 into 2 minus 1. Do we have 3 stars in the first row if I want to print up to 2 rows? This pattern. Yes, we have. So our condition is satisfied here. J will be initialized by 1, by n. So for J is equal to 2n minus 1. And since J is getting decreased like 9, 7, 5, 3, 1. So it's getting decreased, then we have to do minus minus. Now we have a condition here. What condition we will put? That it will skip 2 times. So for value I is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we have a relation here? Okay, we do have it. So 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. We all know. Then 9, let me just have, yes. So 9 minus 7 is equal to 2. 9 minus, sorry, 9 minus 2 is equal to 7. 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. 9 minus 6 is equal to 3. And 9 minus 8 is equal to 1. So is it like all these values, are they similar to our number of stars that we are going to have? Yes. And this value is 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3, 2 into 4. So these values are 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3, and 2 into 4. So J should be greater than 2 into I. As a changing value of I, we can have a relationship and that J is greater than 2 into I. This is the condition that we derive from the given inputs. So this is our second for loop. Our second for loop is for J is equal to 2n minus 1. J is greater than 2i, J minus minus. This is for stars, for printing stars. Now let's take a look to our spaces because we have already studied a different version. Then let's take a look to our spaces. So I have 1 space here, I have 2 space here, I have 3 space here, and then I have 4 space here. So how we are going to build a relationship between like having the values I and k, I and j, everything. So let's see how we are going to handle spaces. Let's name a variable k, and k will handle the spaces. Okay, let k handle it. So for first row space is 0, for second row space is 1, for third row space is 2, for fourth row space is 3, and for fifth row space is 4. Okay. So j starts from 0 and n to 4. But it's not a, you can say that, okay, it's very similar to the ith loop, but you have to keep in mind that after printing 1 space, I have to print 5 stars. I'm not coming back to the next loop and printing space again. I have to print stars here. So in order to do so, what we have to do, we will start from for k is equal to 0, k plus plus. As you can see, k is getting increased gradually by plus 1. Then how we are going to relate I and k? Why we are not going to relate j with k? Because as you can see in this row that like space is printing first, then we print stars. First space is printed, then we are printing star. So j will come after k. So j doesn't exist for k right now. K only has I and n. And for n, we can't do any kind of manipulation that k will gradually increase with the use of n. So what we are going to do, we are going to take I here and we will put k is greater than I. Sorry, k is less than I. So for I is equal to 0 and k is equal to 0, our condition is false. Therefore, no space is printed here. For I is equal to 1, our k has value 0. So therefore, 1 space is printed and we don't print for like if k gets incremented by 1, then our condition fails and we come out of the loop. Similarly, for the rest of the values, 1 space is getting increased and increased till we hit our termination condition, where I only terminate, where the outer for loop terminate itself because of failing of the I is less than 5 condition. So I hope you understand all the for loops. Now let's get into the code and see how we are going to code it. Okay, so now we are going to focus on the code, like whatever we have discussed till now, we're going to implement it in our code and see whether our discussed points are correct or not. So let's write our code. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. Okay, now we have to define n over here, so I'm taking n is equal to 3 for now. I'll run the code for bigger values of n also. So let's look into it. Now these will handle the number of rows we are going to have. Now we have to handle spaces. So for int k is equal to 0, k is less than I k plus plus. As our spaces are getting increased in each line, therefore we are having an increment operator in space. Now we are going to look for our stars. Int j is equal to 2 into n minus 1. J is greater than 2 into I j minus minus. Yes, system.out.print. Now what we have to print? We have to print a star. Moving forward, after printing our line, like all the things that we have printed, we have to move to the next line. Therefore, system.out.println, and we are done with our code. Now let's run it and see whether it's working or not. Okay, as you can see, for n is equal to 3, like up to 3 rows, I have printed my inverted stars. Now let's count the stars. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 stars in my first row. In the second row, I have 3 stars, and in the last row, I have 1 star. So let's go and see it for n is equal to 5. Again, running the code for n is equal to 5. So as you can see, we have our desired output, the odd number of stars in each row up to 5 rows. So now we will move towards the run of this code. First of all, just list all the variables you can see in the code right now. Okay, so I have n is equal to 3, and then I have a variable I have a variable k, then j, and j also has some variable that is 2 into n minus 1, and then there's one more variable 2 into I. Okay, so all these variables will be needed, therefore I have written it. So for going through the dry run, let's see what's the value of I. I is equal to 0. Then we will move to k, and we will see what's the value of k. So k is also equal to 0. We'll check our condition. Is k is less than I? No, it's not. Then we will move to our next part of the code, skipping this for loop for k is equal to 0. Now j starts from 2n minus 1. So what's the value of 2n minus 1? 3 into 2 minus 1, that is equal to 5. And is j greater than 2i? What's 2i? 6. 2 into I. Sorry, I is right now 0. I have taken in. So sorry, that was my mistake. So 2 into I, that is 0. Is j initial value, that is 5, is greater than 0? Yes, it is. Then what we are going to do? We are going to print one star. Okay, so one star is printed. Now moving towards decrement of the operator like j minus minus, because now we have to check up to like what condition j holds. So j is minus minus here. It's 4. Is 4 greater than 0? Yes, it is. We'll print a star. Similarly, 3. Is 3 greater than 0? Like this condition is being checked, which is j greater than 0 right now for I is equal to 0. Is it greater than 0? 3 is greater than? Yes, it is. So we will print a star, this statement. And then again, we are going to decrement it up to 2. Then again, I'm going to print a star. J will hit 1. I'll print a star. As soon as j will hit 0, we can see that now, since j is equal to 0, so j is not greater than 2i for j equal to 0, as 2i is 0 itself. Therefore, our condition will be terminated. Then we will run our next statement, next statement, and we are just in the next line, because system.out.println will move us to the next line. Okay, so this is for I is equal to 0, k is equal to 0, j values, and I have printed my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. Now for I, we will run the code for I is equal to 1. Its value is 5 because n is constant here. So for I is equal to 1, I'll check whether I'll check whether k is equal to 0. Okay, so is k is less than I? 0 is less than I. Yes, it is. Then we are going to print one space. So one space that's printed. Now again, we have a k plus plus. So k is equal to 1. So for is k is less than I, for k is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1? No, it's not. Therefore, our condition is false. Then we will move to our next line of code, that is another for loop for j. So j starts from 5 and 2 into I. So what's 2 into I? 2 into 1 is equal to 2. So j will start from 5 and it should be greater than 2. So is 5 greater than 2? Yes, it is. Then I have to print a star. Moving towards the decrement operator. Now j value is 4. Is it greater than 2? Yes, it is. I'll print a star. For j is equal to 3, is it greater than 2? Yes, it is. I'll print a star. Moving towards 2, is 2 greater than 2? No, it's not. Our condition will be terminated and we will move to the next line of code, that is printing a new line. So now we are in the new line. So this is done for I is equal to 1. Now moving back to I is equal to 2. Okay. So again, k value is 0 for I is equal to 2. So for I is equal to 2, k is equal to 0. So 0 is less than 2? Yes, it is. I'll have one space here. K plus plus will make k to 1. So is 1 is greater than less than 2? Yes, it is. Then I'll have a space here. Now k plus plus will again make k to 2 from 1. So is 2 greater than 2? No, it's not. Therefore, my for condition here is false and we have to terminate our for loop for value k is equal to 2. Now again we will have our j loop where it's initialized as 2 and minus 1, which is 5. Okay, so we have 5 here. What's 2i? So 2 into 2 is equal to 4. Okay, so is 5 greater than 4? Yes, it is. I'll print my star. Again, we move to j minus minus. We have value 4. We will check this statement that, okay, this condition is true or not. So is j is equal to 4 is greater than 2 into I condition, that is 4 right now? No, it's not. Therefore, we will terminate from this for loop and we will move to our next line. So we are here. Again, we will go to the our outermost for loop, making I is equal to 3 through I plus plus. But I should be less than n. So I is equal to 3 and n is also 3. So this is a termination condition here. And now our outermost for loop will be terminated, resulting us with this pyramid, inverted odd number star pyramid. So I hope you have learned something new from this video. Thank you for watching it. Thanks for the patience. मिलते हैं अगली वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय बाय.